Welcome to The Cauldron, a podcast hosted by Ed Bolden-Greer, the creator of Ravens Vail. In each episode, Ed will have free-flowing conversations about horror, life, culture, and personal growth. Expect to hear from storytellers, authors, horror experts, life gurus, thought leaders, and influencers. The Cauldron is a place where concoctions of a lot of ideas are brewed down to potions that are sometimes important and useful, sometimes eccentric and bizarre, but always just what you need. The Cauldron Podcast may contain explicit language and thematic elements not suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
Well, hey there, family. Welcome back to the Ravens Vail Cauldron Podcast, where the whispers of ancient wisdom mingle with the warmth of our close-knit community as we gather around the mystical flames. Here, in this sanctuary of sorcery, we stoke the embers of curiosity and ignite the fires of imagination. I'm your host, Ed Bolden-Greer, and I'm joined by my partner in the paranormal, Jacob Garner, a.k.a. Frady Cat.
Hello, everyone.
Together, we'll brew up a concoction of topics that resonate with the soul and spark the imagination. So as the cauldron simmers, sit back, relax, and let the magic unfold.
In today's spellbinding episode of the Ravens Vail Cauldron Podcast, we have a bewitching treat for you. This past weekend, we had the extraordinary opportunity to be vendors at CreepyCon 2024, right here in the heart of Knoxville, Tennessee. Join us as we unravel the mystical tales and spine-chilling adventures we experience. Prepare to be enchanted as we dive into the eerie fun we had this past weekend.
Hey, Jacob, how you doing, man?
I'm still tired.
I'm exhausted. I know we come on here a lot saying we're tired. This time we're not tired of it. We're just physically exhausted.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm not even post-surgery.
Yeah, I know.
I can only imagine how you feel.
Well, let's get into some stuff. How about that?
Yeah.
So I saw this morning that Vice President Harris, who's running for president.
Future President Harris.
Yeah, unveiled her vice presidential pick today.
Oh, yeah. I saw the news, too.
Yep. Tim Walz.
Yeah.
Governor of Minnesota. Army veteran. 41st governor of Minnesota since 2019. Former high school educator. Taught geography. Was in the Army National Guard for 24 years.
I mean, everything about this guy.
I know. You know, he's also Gen X.
Yeah, there's that monkey paw wish again. I'm actually really excited. I didn't recognize the name immediately. I'll be honest with you. But when I saw his face, I was like, hold up. Wasn't he the dude that gave all the kids in his state free lunch and breakfast if they're in a public school? And then you can find this wonderful picture of like just all these cute kids all hugging him right after he signed the bill. And I was like, oh man, just off of that alone, I like the guy. But I think it's a fantastic pick, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I was talking to my massage therapist, Josh, last night, and I was trying to explain that, and he already knows this, but we just ramble on. I was trying to explain that, I am a Democrat, but I'm also conservative, fiscally conservative, at least, not socially conservative. And there. If I was able to go through every single program in the country that the U.S. government supports, I'm sure I would find some that I could pick and choose from that we as a country could then say, here's free food, at least a breakfast and a lunch for every student in America.
Yeah.
Put everybody on the same playing field.
Yeah.
Right? And ensure that our youth have at least 2 good meals a day.
Yeah. And I mean, just from, I think, an educating standpoint, you ever tried to sit in a class when you're hungry? You ain't paying attention to shit.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it only makes sense. And I think as time goes, we're going to find that we've been failing the youth of America.
Oh, yeah. I think we already are.
Speaking of failing America, oh, Lord, U.S. Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas is in the news again because he continues to not disclose travel funding by his billionaire supporter, Harlan Crow. This report came from the Senate Finance Committee recently.
I'm really excited and am anticipating Joe Biden's Supreme Court reform that we talked about in the last episode. This guy, Clarence Thomas, will be the first person kicked the fuck out of the Supreme Court if they pass some of this stuff. Because, I mean...
Maybe he can go live at Harlan Crow's mansion.
Oh, yeah. Or on a yacht that somebody gives him. Yeah. The thing about Clarence Thomas, every time I hear this stuff, man, I'm disappointed, but I'm not surprised.
Not surprised at all. Par for the course.
On the plus side, though, one cool thing about America is we're whooping ass in the Olympics right now.
Yeah, I'm very proud of our athletes.
They're doing fantastic
in Paris.
I think that it always cracks me up. It always cracks me up that the U.S. is constantly being shit talked for being fat and unhealthy and lazy. Yet every Olympic cycle, we just dominate.
Well, let's be realistic. There's a large portion of Americans that are fat and lazy.
That is true, but for a couple
of those things, I'm not lazy. What impressed me the most is that in the overall race for medals, the U.S. is sweeping it. Like U.S. as of today, if you look at the medal board, U.S. today 79 medals all total. Okay. China, second place with 55.
Man, we have that much of a lead.
That's
crazy.
I can't remember the swimmer who was swimming the 1500. It was a female swimmer.
Oh, Ledecky. Caitlin Ledecky.
But the lead that she had.
Oh, my God.
Just astounded me.
Like, she was the only one on the screen at a certain point.
Yeah, we were sitting
at Chili's
watching it.
We just stopped eating. We're like, I'm pretty sure this is going to be like a record or something.
The other thing that I saw on the medals board is that China is leading
by
in the gold medals. Right, 22 China, 21 USA, and it looks like today the USA will probably pick up another 2, I think they said.
Yeah. I meant to watch the wrestling highlights yesterday, so I'm not sure how our wrestlers are doing.
Jacob, let's be honest. Yesterday you were on rewind and play all day. Marty Anthony, the French pole vaulter, was disqualified after his massive bulge crushed his Olympic dreams, and I saw you. Rewind.
Dude, I was watching it. I am kind of surprised they don't wear a cup. You know what I mean?
They wear jock straps.
Yeah, I know they wear jock. I mean, that was very clear in my careful study. Yeah. I was watching that clip like it was the Zapruder film. It was like, hold on, rewind and enhance.
Well, everybody was like, why wasn't he wearing a jock strap? He was.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I just...
And I'll just humbly say... he wasn't erect either.
No,
when I first heard about it, I'm like,
I thought the exact same thing. I was like, man, they're really amped for this event today. And in a way, even though he technically lost, I feel like he won.
I think overall, I don't think he's going to have any problem with dates.
No, exactly. Sure. No, it's like, oh yeah, you're an Olympian. Let me see some clips. That'll be the clip probably. But speaking of athletes, my God, dude. You know me, I love boxing. I love anything combat sports. I have to bring up Iman Khalif, the Algerian boxer.
Iman Khalif. I think it's Imani Khalif.
Imani Khalif.
Yeah. And all the newscasters are saying Iman, but I think it's technically a female name, Imani.
Yeah. And
See, you made the same mistake.
I did. Kamala. Lin Yu-ting was another fellow boxer. They're both born female. The International Olympic Committee president, Thomas Bach, defended its decision to allow them to compete, saying concerns over their gender identity are, quote, totally unacceptable, and I completely agree.
I do too. I think most of it's being driven by America.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 1,000%.
You know?
Yeah.
The Christian nationalist and the people who are trying to politicize everything to get people just riled up.
Yeah.
Riled up is a right term, right? Riled?
Riled up.
Or is it riled?
I
like riled.
I like riled up.
Let's get riled up.
What I will say, too, and for the listeners who have very, like, cursory knowledge about this stuff, I just want to make some stuff very, very clear, okay? This is not a case of somebody who was born biologically male beating up women in boxing. That's not what's taking place. She was born female. She is still female, okay?
Shall never be anything but female, according to her.
And for those of you who don't know this, it is illegal to be trans in Algeria, where she is from. So all of these allegations just don't make any damn sense.
Well, yeah, they do. They're politicizing it.
And, you know, I hate that J.K. Rowling has...
she's just doing that for attention.
Oh, yeah, 1,000%.
You know what I'm going to say to all the people, all the haters out there? Shame on you.
Yeah, shame on you.
Shame on you.
This woman is not only doing an incredibly difficult sport. I don't even care if you just do it casually. Boxing is a hard sport to do, but she is competing on an Olympic level. And we have a bunch of keyboard warriors questioning the validity of her femininity. It's just so annoying.
Well, you know, that's the problem. People have such a narrow-minded view of what femininity is and what masculinity is. And it's binary. And when somebody doesn't fall into their distinct definition, they're ostracized.
Yeah. So I wish if I could wave a magic wand, I would love for J.K. Rowling to step into the ring with her after some of these comments. That would be amazing.
Think that would be fun. Now, I do want to say something. I very much have a belief that you can enjoy the Harry Potter series and all of the stuff that J.K. Rowling has written, and the movies, and be a fan and still not support J.K. Rowling.
Oh, yeah. You in every essence of this phrase, you got to separate the art from the artist, for sure.
I want to talk a little bit about something. I'm going to kind of hit two topics here.
Go for it.
The first is about the tropical storm Debbie that's coming up. It's scheduled to hit Charleston and Savannah. 4 people dead in Florida from it.
Yeah.
But that whole weather topic, I saw down in the corner of my screen when I was looking at the weather, something that really scared me. Okay. And I kind of did some background research on it.
Yeah.
Temperatures since mid-July have climbed up to 50 degrees Fahrenheit above normal over parts of Antarctica.
Oh,
and
my
the
God.
ice is melting fast. Now, there's a summer melt every year.
Oh, yeah.
You know? But that kind of took me back because people don't believe in global warming and Earth is flat and all that stuff, right? All those weirdo beliefs. But here's the thing, okay?
Nature doesn't care what your opinion of it is. You can disagree with nature. It does not change the fact that we're seeing severe weather changes. You know, you can stick your head in the sand all you want on this topic.
That's right. I'm sorry, guys. I literally, there was a squirrel. I lost my mind because I was wondering where the hell that came from. No, the thing that I was going to say was, in looking at all that, I was looking at how much rain was going to be dumped on the East Tennessee area as a result.
Mm-hmm.
And surprisingly, we're not going to get any.
Are you shitting me?
Yeah, there's obviously we've had flooding over the past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And had all kinds of mess at the school and offices. But yeah, there's this phenomena that happens where the moisture is going to be sucked out of here to the coast. Okay.
Yeah.
And we get left dry and extremely hot. So they're predicting, temperatures like 99 degrees with no humidity.
Oh my
which
gosh.
is, it's a little better to tolerate, but still 99 degrees. who knows?
Dude, my freaking electric bill,
Yeah.
it was ridiculous because of last month. It was so hot. Like my energy usage literally doubled.
It's not just hot, but when it's hot and moist, the way air conditioning works is it pulls the moisture out of the air as it cools it off, and so it works double time to create that. I saw something about the stock market.
Bro.
That's your area of expertise here, not mine.
Yeah, I actually have a subscription to the Wall Street Journal because I'm an 80-year-old man. But I was reading in it earlier this week.
Now, hold on. You thought we would forget this. Friday, August 2nd.
Yeah.
We got to celebrate and experience a miracle.
Truly
a miracle. The shedding off of 28 years as you took on your 29th year of life.
Yep.
Also, happy birthday, Zach.
Happy birthday, Zach. Yeah. I got to celebrate my birthday at CreepyCon. I mean, to the listeners, that may sound like, oh, you had to work on your birthday. One, I don't really consider CreepyCon work. It's so much fun. And two, I don't really celebrate my birthday anyways. I will say,
I celebrate his birthday.
Ed took care of the celebration department. Not only did I get the amazing experience that I'm sure so many of our listeners absolutely love of when you're in a Mexican restaurant, you get told, somebody loudly exclaims, it's your birthday. Everybody has to sing to you. So I got to enjoy that. The gifts you guys got me.
They're not done. Just one of them hasn't come in yet.
Can I tell them about the painting?
Yeah.
You got me. So there was a vendor at CreepyCon that was selling like really horny depictions of like pop culture characters from video games and movies. And there's just
Who's your favorite character?
I guess Bowser now. But there's a depiction that he did of like Bowser with no shirt on, wearing like a jock strap with fire crotch.
Yep.
It's just so ridiculously.
Did you like it?
I love it. It's hanging up on my wall right now.
We also bought him a dead possum.
Yeah. Dead possum's like tongue hanging out. That's so funny. No, we should link it in the show notes, that picture.
We'll take a picture.
Shout out the artist. But yeah, dude, the stock market was it took such a pounding. It was nuts. So I think yesterday in the U.S. stock exchange alone, more than $2 trillion basically just evaporated. It started in Japan because their market opens up before ours. They actually recouped everything for the most part. They were only down 10%, but when you're talking about billions and billions of dollars, 10% just catastrophic. It's insane.
You know what I found most amazing about it? I always just wait to talk to you about it because you know more things than I do about that. The first thing that somebody said was, why hasn't Kamala fixed this? Why isn't she saying something about it?
Sure. Yeah. Why? Because she definitely controls what the Japanese, internal market's going to do, right? Like she got on the phone with their prime minister and said, hey, we need you to short sell. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. But that's the thing. The Japanese market toppled everything yesterday.
Yeah. It started with them. And then, there was a jobs report that came out for the last month. I think they said like 14,000 new unemployment claims have been made on top of what was already there. But I mean, the tech sector is getting hammered right now. I mean, this is crazy big news, especially with my family. Like we grew up in San Francisco. The Twitter, or now known as X, building has always been a mainstay of because San Francisco is a tech city now.
It's for sale.
Yep, it's for sale. They're moving to San Jose,
California,
which isn't that far, and I'm sure
50 miles.
Yeah,
that's a good drive for somebody. If you were wanting to lay off some people without laying them off, that's a good way to do it.
And I'm just going to say this too: San Francisco's Bay Area Rapid Transport, the BART, way better than what San Jose's got going on.
Oh, yeah.
I'll say that much. So I'm sure some of the employees are not stoked about that.
Yeah, I bet. Speaking of X, the owner of X is also an owner of a car company. I don't know if you know about that.
I don't know. What's his name?
I think it's Elon. Elon. He's reducing his workforce.
Yeah.
Globally.
Yeah.
By 10%.
I know Microsoft just laid off a shit ton of people.
1,400 people.
Yeah. And I'm a huge video game guy, so are you. Bungie, who is underneath Microsoft, they just had a massive round of layoffs.
Yep. It's all tech stuff.
It's all tech stuff, and I would be remiss if I didn't bring this up. So there's a group on Reddit, I'm sure some people have heard of it, called Wall Street Bets. These guys are just degenerates that use the stock market to gamble, essentially. There was a post literally the day before this huge tumble in the stock market took place, specifically, obviously, in the NASDAQ. That's all tech anyway. This guy made a post that he had inherited like 800 grand from his grandmother, right? And he was going to take a gamble, and he was like, I'm pretty confident that I can make a lot of money on Intel. So he bought $700,000 worth of Intel stock at like $29 a share.
12 hours before the crash.
12 hours. And obviously he's going to have to hold on to it because you just can't take a loss. I think it went from 29 to $11 or something crazy like that.
Let's look up what Intel's stock is right now.
I hope for his sake it's a little bit higher.
Well, Intel stock is at 2008.
20. Okay,
so it
cool.
Rebounded really well.
Nice.
It's only down 0.17.
Okay. Well, for that guy's sake, thank God.
For him. Well, thank you for that update on the stock market because, I just usually use a broker because I don't understand all that stuff. How you understand it, good. I like having somebody I can ask.
I will say this much. I think that overall, especially with Google recently losing their Supreme Court case, the Justice Department took them to court for being a monopoly. That's also going to impact the tech sector too. I'm not sure what they're going to do about that, but
I mean, I understand how you see Google as a monopoly, and I've thought that a lot. Mm-hmm. But I mean, there are other search priorities out there.
It just sucks because they're like even the judge over the case was like, there's no denying that Google is an extremely successful and really well efficient and just amazing product. You can't deny that. It sucks that it has grown to such an amount that they basically became a monopoly through their own success. Mm-hmm. Now, they did do some predatory stuff like, the major thing is, Apple actually, last year, I was reading this in the Wall Street Journal. Last year, Google signed a deal and they paid Apple $26 billion. $26 billion to have a proprietary agreement that all of their products will by default have Google as the search engine instead of Safari. That's actually what got them in trouble, was that they were like, hold up a minute, we don't know if you guys can do that. And that's what ended up getting them sent into the Justice Department for that lawsuit.
Well, they should be able to do that. Now I'm going to advocate because I just set up a new computer for our Halls clinic yesterday. Mm-hmm. And let me tell you, it was a pain in the ass to get rid of what's Microsoft's
Edge or some shit? Yeah,
Microsoft Edge. It's the worst piece of shit I've ever seen. I hate it.
Speaking of search engines, whatever happened to Ask Jeeves? Do you remember Ask Jeeves?
It's still there.
Is it still a thing? Is it really?
Let me just look it up while you talk.
I remember Ask Jeeves was the one that was by default in all of the computers I had in elementary.
Ask Jeeves, I think it became...
didn't it get bought up by Yahoo?
No, I think it just became ask.com.
Oh, okay.
It may not have, but I think, Ask Jeeves is now ask.com. So Ask Jeeves just changed its name in 2005.
Damn, that was almost 20 years ago. Isn't that crazy to think about?
Yep.
Well, hey there, family. I'm Presley King, the voice of Uncle Theo here at Ravens Vail Podcast. At Ravens Vail, we love telling you our story. That's why I'm excited to tell you about Appalachian Horror Fest 2024. Appalachian Horror Fest 2024 is an evening of music and storytelling themed around the macabre. The event will take place on Saturday, October 12th, 2024 at Central Cinema in Knoxville, Tennessee from 5:30 until 9:30. Our hauntingly talented musicians will serenade you with eerie tunes that echo through the misty Appalachian hills. Gather round as our master storytellers weave through their blood-curdling tales. Legends of restless spirits, vengeful ghosts, and ancient curses will dance in your imagination. Tickets are on sale now at AppalachianHorrorFest.com/tickets. Oh, storytellers. If your words can raise goosebumps and summon sleeping spirits, step into the spotlight. Submit your spine-chilling tale at AppalachianHorrorFest.com/storytellers. Appalachian Horror Fest. We hope to see you there.
Jacob,
Yeah.
I need to change the topic a lot because we got to get on to what we're talking about. But before we do, I really want to thank you for all your help this last weekend. Having a bum shoulder really sucks when you're trying to set up for a con.
Dude, I agree, and I appreciate you saying that, but I have to say, dude, I mean, we're basically pros at this point. Getting that, we were like a Formula One pit crew, getting booths set up and broken down. Do you just want to go ahead and jump in and start talking about CreepyCon?
Yeah, I was very proud at how fast we got set up. We were scheduled for a 2:00 load in, and we got there about 1:45, loaded in by 2:30. We were in the process, and by 3:00 we were done.
Yeah.
And fastest load in, fastest setup we've ever done.
Mhm.
We didn't skimp on anything.
No. We had two booth spaces.
Shout out to the administrators of CreepyCon, the organization they had for the load ins this year. Chef's kiss.
Yeah. I mean, it was easy peasy. Compared to last year, too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it was very seamless.
Hey, Jacob, how are you doing?
Oh, man, I'm feeling creepy.
I am too. We're here today at CreepyCon 2024.
It's
This
incredible.
is your second year, our third year. It's absolutely wild here today.
Literally, a killer clown just skated by us with some roller skates. It's awesome.
It's an amazing day. I'm just really thrilled about all of the attendees. I mean, it's 11 o'clock on Saturday, and it's already full.
Yeah, I mean, we had so many people at the booth earlier that people were just having to walk by and say, we'll come back, because they couldn't get to us yet.
Kind of think it's a lot fuller than it has been in the past.
Oh, yeah. I feel like we've seen more people probably in the first, hour today than we have all day yesterday.
Yeah,
I would say.
Yeah, I would say that yesterday was about double what we did last year, too.
Oh, easily. And I mean, it fits the venue for sure because they've doubled the space. The dark side is super, super cool.
For those of you who don't know, CreepyCon this year doubled its exhibition space, and they have what's called the light side where all the lights are on, and then they have the dark side where all the booths are lit up and all the lights are off.
Yeah.
So it's an amazing experience here today.
And even though it's an open convention, the dark side is surprisingly creepy to me.
It is surprisingly creepy. They do have a couple of haunted attractions over there that we have not got to go to yet. But Jacob, are you willing to go into one of them?
I mean, maybe. Potentially. Who's been your favorite cosplay you've seen so far, Ed?
Well, you and I both love Mothman.
Yeah.
And we got pictures with Mothman today. So I would say that's one. Michael Myers, one of our all-time favorites that we see at most of these cons. So I don't know. I think that if I had to really choose for this year, I think that it would be the Sally.
Yeah, the Jack Skeleton and Sally.
Because their costumes were just spot on. Like there wasn't a single thing they missed in their costume.
No, yeah. Very, very well done. Makeup was fantastic on Sally.
Yep.
We got to get some pictures with them, which was really, really cool. And I want to say, too, that the vendors overall.
Oh,
the quality
of the vendors this year far exceeds everything that I've seen. I'm a little jealous. I'm sitting here now. We're going to walk by, get a picture, hopefully, with Sam. We're walking behind Michael Myers right now, stalking him.
I want to say, too, that the quality of the cosplays, too, have been outstanding. Today is the day that the costume contest is going to be, and you can tell that's definitely going to be going on.
I will say that the wow factor for the costumes have hit the ceiling this year.
I would definitely agree with that for sure. And I'm telling you, too, for our listeners, there are so many people here that me and Ed are really
when we're taking pause, we're having to kind of shift around everybody a little bit.
Oh, there's Pyramid Head. Or at least I see the head of Pyramid Head.
I see the head for Pyramid Head. Thanks, sir.
Oh, thank you. Creepy Clown just handed Ed a flyer.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, too, everybody that's been stopping by our booth today, I mean, everybody's just been so cordial, so kind, really interested in what we're doing. I've already gotten some really cool stories I can't wait to share on the podcast.
Yeah. We're doing this live remote right now.
I got to admit, it feels weird not recording from the G-spot.
I know. We love being in the G-spot. But we're doing live remotes now so that we can do filler in between. We're really excited. This is our first live remote.
Yeah.
And so far, so good. There is a naked mannequin.
Nice.
Here on our right, which I
will
think they
point
removed
out,
the costume for somebody.
For one very specific person, I want to point out that there is a 20-foot skeleton that I can see.
I'm gonna say that Jacob's referring to me. I have wanted to have a giant skeleton outside our house for years, and unfortunately, Jared says that our house would not sustain it because we live in a condo, a duplex condo that we own. And it is true, we could not sustain it on the inside, but I do think we could keep it outside and change its outfits for seasonal outfits.
I think that's a wonderful idea.
I do too. But, have to convince Jared of that.
We just recently, as we were talking about the skeleton, we walked past some, I believe it's called silk performers.
Silk. Yep.
People that are swinging and dangling
Silk.
from silk.
Yeah.
Silk performers that were swinging and dangling about 15 feet off the ground by some cool
aerial
curtains.
Performers. Yep.
It's really, really cool.
Amazing, actually.
Yeah. I mean, just to think about the core strength that takes to do.
There's Scary Mickey.
Yeah. Saw Scary Mickey. There's a couple of different scary Mickey Mouses. We saw a Freddy Krueger Mickey Mouse, which was really, really fun. This one is a Murderous Steamboat Willie version. Really awesome engagement for a lot of the... You can hear Steamboat Willie Mickey behind us.
That wasn't Jacob farting.
Oh, there's Pyramid Head and Jack.
Yep.
And
all of them. They're getting ready for the contest.
CreepyCon was an absolute blast. It was from August 2nd to the 4th. The Knoxville Convention Center was literally transformed into a haven of all things eerie and supernatural. And we met so many amazing fans, repeat fellow vendors. That was super cool.
Yeah.
And even a few celebrity guests.
Hey, we were some of those celebrity guests.
Indeed we were.
I just thought that the whole vibe, the whole energy of the place was just electric.
It was.
We had over 200 vendors showcased. They had everything from all the horror memorabilia to spine-tingling artwork to all that. What's the right word? Pop culture art, like what we bought you. But I think that one of the things that impressed me most was the live performances and especially the contests. They just kept everybody on edge. You know, I do want to. I failed to get her name. Absolutely feel bad about that. But on Sunday they had the children's costume contest.
Yeah,
they had the adult costume contest on Saturday, but they had the children's on Sunday, and the winner was just phenomenal.
Oh man.
Her dad had taken an old TV, that the kind of console TVs.
Yeah, the big wooden ones
Yeah.
with a big back to them.
Back from the 80s,
Yeah.
early 90s, and had taken the guts out of it, taken the screen out of it, and he was pushing it around, and she was in there, and she would crawl out like from
The ring.
yeah, just and her movements,
Yeah,
her
mannerisms.
costume, mannerisms, everything was so perfect in her hair. It was so well executed
Oh yeah.
for somebody who was 12 years old.
But is that how old she was? Oh man, yeah, she killed it. And when I heard that she won, I was like, of course. Who else was gonna win that?
Yeah.
Well, hey there, family. It's Ed Bolden-Greer with the Ravens Vail Cauldron Podcast. We're here at the Knoxville Convention Center at CreepyCon 2024. We're here with one of our cast members, Presley King, who plays two of our characters, Uncle Theo, and our newest character, Petra.
That's right.
What are you thinking about the con?
Oh, I love the con. First of all, huge. A lot going on here, a lot of people. It's really nice to be able to connect with folks, talk about the pod, get the word out there. Love seeing all the people in all the costumes. It's really nice to just, it feels like family.
Family.
It feels like family.
Yeah. So, family, come on out to the Knoxville Convention Center and come by the Ravens Vail Podcast Network booth and meet all of our characters.
Yes!
Yes.
I think that one of the things that bothered me, and this isn't a negative, it's a personal issue I have, the expositions or the shows where they were hooking people's skin and suspending them.
Yeah.
It makes me hurt down in my crotch area a little bit. So
Yeah. There was one.
not really into that, but I think there was a lot of people there who enjoyed that show.
Oh yeah, my partner said that they walked by the suspension group and they had a girl who was literally had two giant hooks through her ass cheeks. It was just hanging.
Oh,
I'm like,
mercy.
good
No.
God. Tell them about that show you watched. Was it Saturday or Sunday with the wine?
Yes, it was on Sunday.
Well, hey there, family. It's Ed Bolden-Greer.
And this is Jacob.
We're the hosts of the Ravens Vail Podcast. We're at CreepyCon 2024 here at the Knoxville Convention Center.
Yep.
It's the last day. We're excited because typically we've not seen this many people out.
No. Yeah, especially this early on the last day. I'm not just seeing a lot of repeat people that bought the 3-day passes, but I'm also seeing quite a few new faces.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful day outside, so hopefully we get a couple of people that are perusing Market Square in downtown Knoxville, and they pop in for a little bit of spookiness,
I was excited yesterday that we got so many people all at once. I mean, they were here all day, but it was kind of a flood wave when it started raining. They just all came out yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
It was exciting to see that many people. We're walking over to the dark side. It's a little fear that Jacob has.
I've walked over here a few times. I got to admit, it's been really, really awesome, mainly because even though the setting is very spooky, everybody that's working is just all smiles, super friendly. Come on over, say hi, and I'm like, all right, this can't be that scary, right?
So one of the things that we wanted to talk with you all about is August 10th.
August 10th, yep.
August 10th is coming up really quickly.
Yep.
For those of you that listened to our last episode, you know that we have a special treat coming up for our dear Jacob, our little Freddy cat.
Oh, yeah.
What would
Can't
that be, Jacob?
We're doing a paranormal investigation on that day.
Yeah, and you're just terribly excited about that because you kind of lost a bet, right?
Oh, man, yeah. I am literally just counting it down. Can't wait.
we're going to be doing that, and then we're going to be doing a live remote from the paranormal investigation. Jacob and I are going to experience that together, and we're going to see how Jacob fares.
Yeah. I'm probably going to grab one of our cool package protection spells that Aunt Ruby B has given us the blessing on. I'll grab it from our table. I'll have one hanging from every arm and limb.
Well, we can't actually have a paranormal investigation if you're going to drive all the spirits away.
No, I'm just driving them away from me.
No, that's not how that works, though.
I'll drink it so it comes out of my sweat, so.
I'd like to see that.
One of the main performers is kind of an illusionist, and she does things like she taps nails into her nose and things like that. She took a nasogastric tube, which is a long, clear tube that's rounded on the ends, lubed it up, and stuck it through her nose and out her mouth.
Ew.
Okay, I know. But then on the other end of the tube, she had a funnel. And she had a red solo cup, and she had an audience volunteer come up and pour wine into the funnel. It went down the tube, through her nose, out her mouth, down to the cup, and then that was his shot.
Oh, my God.
Now, most people probably wouldn't see anything wrong with that. It went through a tube, except that, you know, I've been in medicine for a long time. I've placed a lot of NG tubes, as we call them, and the membrane of your nose and your snot and all of the stuff gets in that tube. So, yuck.
Yeah.
That really, as you young people say, it was really ick.
Yeah. You came back like you just saw a bomb go off. I was like, you all right, Ed? And you're like, I just saw the most disgusting shit.
Gross.
But
It was interesting, but it was gross.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I think that day 2 of the con was, that was a marathon right through there.
It was a marathon.
How long were we there till?
We were there about 14 hours total.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I felt like it. Man, my legs were so tight.
It just seemed like it was going to never end. But I'm going to say I got tired towards the end, but it wasn't until that last 30 minutes
Yeah.
that I was like, I want to go home.
I will say that entire day, though, anytime I really started to like losing energy and dragging, that loud booming voice, we were right underneath like one of the speakers, and that dude just brought the energy every announcement, and he would just be like, you know, hey, how you guys doing?
I think
CreepyCon?
I think that it was just literally turned up too loud.
I think so too.
He is very energetic, and we were under a speaker, but there's nowhere in the convention center floor that you aren't under a speaker.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just so loud. And so if I had to have a negative about the con whatsoever, it'd be how loud it was. Literally, when the announcement would go off, everybody in the whole area we were in would jump.
Yeah. That was not the way that I was expecting to be scared at CreepyCon.
Yeah, that's not the jump scares we're talking about.
But we had just such an awesome time. I'd be mistaken if I didn't bring up the vendor that was across from us was a vendor that we had across in our general area last year. And she was wearing one of our horror nerd t-shirts.
Yeah, our brand t-shirt.
Which was just awesome. The cosplays that we saw from the adults, you know, obviously the little ring girl was amazing, but some of the cosplays we saw from some of the adults were just amazing. Lots of arts from Terrifier.
Yeah.
Whole lot of clowns walking around.
There was a whole booth of clowns.
The Clown Cartel, I think is what they call themselves.
Yeah. And they were amazing and they were wonderful. And I don't know how anybody who has a fear of clowns could handle it.
Poor Presley.
I know.
Poor Presley. Presley did such a fantastic job.
Shout out to Presley King, one of our voice actors who plays Uncle Theo, the voice of Uncle Theo, and also Petra on the Ravens Vail podcast.
Yeah, we actually got to meet our listeners coming by the booth,
Yeah,
which was
so
amazing.
many people coming by.
And I really loved talking to them. It was funny. There was one person that was like, "Oh, you're Jacob, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I am." And they're like, "Oh," and I could tell that they're thinking like, "This guy doesn't look anything like how I imagined him looking."
I mean, we do talk about you as being a short white guy.
Yeah, they probably were like, "You're Jacob. You're not like carnival sized." It's
We
kind of
kind
odd.
of are. You know what really got me emotionally? We had a wife come up. Her husband couldn't be there.
Yeah.
And she came up and she said, I really need to tell you all how much my husband loves your podcast.
Really?
Yeah. And I just going to say this. She didn't know about the Cauldron. I got to introduce her to the Cauldron.
That's awesome.
But he listens to the storyline.
Yeah, for Ravensville.
Yeah, the Ravens Vail storyline. And he couldn't come to the con. And so she was there, and we sent her home with a swag bag and all stuff about Ravens Vail. But she also got to take him home the Cauldron.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. I got to shout out to my best friend, Stanley.
Yeah.
He was actually driving back from West Virginia to head back to Nashville, and he was able to swing by the con. I got to introduce him to everything.
I saw that he signed up for the circle.
Yeah, he did, and he was excited because, there's always traffic as you're heading into Nashville, so he was like, cool, I'm going to listen to this podcast on the way back, and you guys got to meet one of my partners. He was super excited to meet all of you.
We actually got to meet both your partners. I mean, I'd already met one of them, but yeah.
Well, hey there, family. This is Ed Bolden-Greer with the Ravens Vail Cauldron Podcast. I'm here with Starla Blue, one of our event staff, who is also responsible for most of our dad jokes on the show. How are you doing, Starla?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. You are we call you the queen of dad jokes.
Yes,
You got one for us today?
I do. Why does your nose grow in the middle of your face?
I don't know.
Because it's the center.
That one's really bad. That's so bad. Thank you. Everybody, like I say, most of our dad jokes come directly from this woman. She puts them in at all times. Thank you a lot, Starla.
Thank you.
Man, I gotta admit, that first night when we left and went to Central Flats and Taps, dude, you guys were just haranguing me, just harassing me at Central Flats and Taps. It was so much fun, though.
So, listeners, one of the things that we do after every day of going to a con, at the end of the night, we take the staff out for dinner because we want everybody to have a time to debrief, relax, wind down. So we went to Central Flats and Taps out on Central Avenue here in Knoxville. Wonderful place.
Yeah, right across
Wonderful
from
feud.
Central Cinema. Where
Wonderful food. I said feud.
Wonderful feud. It
Wonderful
felt like a feud. Dude,
We were kind of beating up on Jacob a little bit.
5v1.
Well, his partner was helping us.
I know.
It was fun getting to know him and getting to spend some time finally with, we lovingly call Jacob's partners my stepsons. If you know, you know.
Yeah.
And
I think that one thing that got me really excited when we were at Central Flats and Taps is that we were right across the street from where AHF is going to be.
Yep. Appalachian Horror Fest will be Saturday, October 12th at Central Cinema. We're very excited.
There were a lot of people at the con talking about it.
Who already knew about it.
Sold some tickets this weekend, too.
We're at about 50% of tickets sold so far. So if you haven't got your tickets, you might want to go ahead and do that.
There were a lot of people that expressed interest in it, So as we get closer to that date, remember, there's only so many seats, guys.
Right. We only have so many tickets to sell. So go ahead and do that. That's not a sales pitch either. That's just the truth. We've already sold 50% of the tickets and there's only 100 seats.
Yeah.
So that tells you a little bit. One of the things that I thought was fascinating about the listeners coming up to us is the amount of information that they knew about the podcast. Like they hadn't just listened to one podcast or one episode. They were serial listeners, and I really like that. I like when I can have a conversation about either the Cauldron or the Ravens Vail podcast.
Yeah, I was talking to one of our listeners who really enjoys the Cauldron, and they told me that their favorite episode was the time travel episode.
I heard that a couple times. I also heard, and I thought this was really nice for you, that one of their favorite episodes was the Jacob Garner episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, I mean, people got to know you from that.
Yeah.
And they heard your story, and it created that relationship with the listeners.
Well, my lore is definitely going to be expanded in a couple more days because we have that paranormal investigation coming up.
Yes, we do. On August 10th, we are having the opportunity to fulfill a promise to our listeners. If you all remember, going back to Jacob's Haunting series, which has been months ago.
Yeah.
It's been months in the making. We had a little contest going on. Jacob didn't quite win.
No, the listeners won.
And we put a poll out to see what Jacob would do. And there were things on there like Jacob would go with me to a haunted attraction. And he desperately didn't want to do that.
No.
There was a paranormal investigation. He didn't want to do that. There was going to the Brown Mountain lights. He kind of wanted to do that. He was hopefully going to see an alien there.
That would have been awesome.
And there was many, many things, and people put other things in that we hadn't even talked about, which we contemplated.
Yeah.
But in the end, 58% of the vote went to the paranormal investigation. And so this coming Saturday, we're going to take part in a paranormal investigation. We're going to do some live recording while we're there that we will insert into, I guess, our next episode.
Yeah. So stay tuned, listeners.
Fraidy cat.
It's going to be so much fun.
Meow.
Can't wait.
Well, hey there, family. It's Ed Bolden-Greer with the Ravens Vail Cauldron Podcast. We're here at the Knoxville Convention Center with CreepyCon 2024. I have today my husband, Jared Bolden-Greer, who is our executive producer and a voice actor with the show. How you doing today, Jared?
Doing pretty good.
Great. What do you think about the con this year?
Great traffic. I'm really looking forward to all the potential new listeners. We've had quite a few people sign up for the Circle today. So for those of you listening, if you haven't had an opportunity to join the Circle yet, you should do so online now. Lots and lots of openings and free space in order for you to get in with the early access opportunities available for you.
And how can they sign up online?
So if you go to ravensvail.com and you go to memberships, you can go ahead and sign up for the Circle there.
Thank you very much.
So, Jacob, are you ready for your Would You Rather questions?
Oh, yeah, totally. Oh, wait, real quick. I just want to bring up, I actually won something at CreepyCon.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I won that.
That's right.
I got a 6'1" or 6'2" cardboard cutout of Freddy Krueger.
Yep.
And it's creepy as fuck.
Yeah, from the Knoxville Horror Film Fest.
Yeah. I entered into a raffle for $1, and there were a lot of places in there, which is hilarious because I wasn't paying attention to my phone because, we're working the con. And then I looked down and I had a missed call and a text message from 30 minutes prior. I was like, you won. I was like, what? And then I looked because they're right across from us.
They were right beside us, yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, I won. Yeah. And everybody was like, what's going on? And they were like, what's going on, dude? And I went, I won. And they went, oh, really? You won? Oh, cool. We don't even have to carry it that far then. And they just gave it to me. So shout out to that.
We decided not to take it home on Saturday.
No.
If you were in Knoxville on Saturday, you know that there were torrential downpours that didn't seem to ever want to stop.
No.
Okay, now are you ready for your would you rather question?
Let's do it.
Jacob,
Mm.
would you rather
Mm.
be trapped in a room with a possessed doll
Gross.
or a room with a poltergeist?
Oh, yeah, neither.
No, not an option. Come on, Freddy Cat.
I mean, I remember from our previous episodes talking about like poltergeists and stuff that they actually have the ability to like interact with the physical world.
Yeah, they're mostly mischievous.
Yeah. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think if I chose the possessed doll one, if it's going to possess a toy, like, can't it jump into me?
Maybe.
I'll just deal with like getting a cup thrown at me by a poltergeist then.
Okay.
Okay, I got one for you. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather hear footsteps behind you when you're alone or see a shadowy figure in the corner of your eye? Gee, I kind of feel like you already deal with the second one.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna do something very different. I think I would like to experience the footsteps behind me.
Really?
Yeah.
That's creepier to me, honestly.
Well, like you said, I see stuff all the time. So I think I'd rather experience something new. It's a brand new me.
Ugh. I swear if we hear any footsteps behind us this weekend, I'm going to, ugh, gross. All right, I want to get off the spooky topics.
I'm sure you do.
Do you want to hear some dad jokes?
Are they spooky?
No, but they involve witches.
Okay.
Cool. So, Ed, I've got some really super witchy jokes that were submitted to the brew by the delightful Allison Mitchell from Pine Grove, Georgia.
Pine Grove, Georgia.
Yeah. So, are you ready?
Yeah.
What do you call two witches living together? Broommates. Hey, why did the witch go to school?
Oh, I know this one.
What?
To learn to spell.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like this one. This one really made me chuckle. Why don't witches wear flat hats? Because
What
there's
hat's flat?
because there's no point to them.
Fuck you.
Thank you,
Those
Allison.
are really good. Allison, thank you. Thank you. God, those were awfully good.
I know, right?
Emphasis on the awfully. We appreciate you, Allison.
Hello, everybody. This is Jacob Garner, co-host on the Cauldron. I'm over here at the Wise Bean vendor station. I absolutely love this vendor place. They were here at CreepyCon last year. So tell us, what do you guys sell? What are you guys doing today?
Well, first of all, we are neighbors and best friends, so we get together and do art. We sell lots of handmade goods. We do digital art. We do paintings. We do paper craft and earrings. So we just have a great time making our stuff and hanging out together.
Awesome. Where can we find you guys?
We are online on Instagram under Wise Bean Designs, but since we're next door neighbors, we both have separate Instagrams as well. Cassie is Wise Art and Designs, and I'm Sweetie Bean Doodles.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Family, we have a couple things that came in from the brew that we're going to talk about today. As you know, the brew is the weird and wild corner of our show where we invite you to stir up part of the magical concoction by submitting stories and questions. It's a space where curiosity meets the supernatural, and every dip into the cauldron reveals a new tale or question submitted by you. Whether you're seeking guidance on life's twists and turns, unraveling a rich tapestry of Appalachian folklore, or sharing your own spine-chilling experiences, the brew is your gateway to the unknown. Join us as we journey into the shadows and shed light onto the secrets that lie within. We have 2 items today, Jacob,
Oh, cool.
that came in for the cauldron.
Let's hear them.
Well, here's the first one. It's a question. We've entitled it Paranormal Protection.
Okay.
Okay. Dear Ravens Vail, I've been having reoccurring nightmares about a shadowy figure standing at the foot of my bed. Every night, it feels more real, and I'm starting to wake up with unexplained scratches on my arms. What could this mean, and how can I protect myself from these terrifying dreams? Hashtag basket case.
Well, that's creepy as fuck.
Yep. So I'm going to answer this, and I'll let you jump in, but I'm going to answer it 2 different ways, or maybe even 3, depending on how you look at it. The first thing I'll say is that you referenced that it was a nightmare. If it's truly a dream or a nightmare, then you might be scratching yourself.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought.
Okay. If that's not the case, then you might be having something called a night terror as well. And you might have some malevolent entity that's causing you to have that night terror, that's causing the scratches on your arms.
I would say, like, go to sleep with, like, mittens on. You know what I mean? Like something to cover your fingernails.
Yeah. You could also record yourself sleeping.
Yeah, you can. You get like a baby monitor.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Or a video where you could a video camera where you could record yourself like we have at our houses.
Yeah.
So what could this mean? I think that it could be your subconscious. On the medical side, it could be your subconscious. It's not really about a shadowy figure, but something that's deeper.
Yeah.
That you may need to seek some counseling about. It could just be a scary nightmare.
Yeah.
Okay. But if it's not, how do you protect yourself? Well, there's a couple of ways. You can always Google protection spells and protection charms and things like that. There's precious stones and things like that you can put in your house. If you want to communicate with us and give us your physical mailing address, at CreepyCon, we were giving away home protection kits.
Yeah.
Which involve a little incantation and some herbs. And you boil that down to make a spray to put on your doors, your thresholds, your windows and sashes, and your hearth if you have a fireplace. Lots of directions there. We'd be glad to send you one, but we need to have your mailing address. So if you want basket case, if you want to send us your mailing address to info@ravensvail.com, we'll be glad to mail you one of those out.
Oh yeah. And I would say too, take it a step further, buy you a dream catcher.
Yeah.
Made by actual Native Americans. I think that would, I know I used to suffer from night terrors a lot. I haven't had one in years, but I actually bought a dream catcher and I swear to you it helped. Like it really did. And they just look cool. I like a good dream catcher.
Yeah, they're beautiful. This next one, we try to put a title on all of these. This next one kind of got us in the feels.
Yeah.
So we're calling this one Untitled because we couldn't come up with a title that we thought was good enough for this.
Yeah.
It says, Dear Ed and Jacob, my mom was recently diagnosed with cancer, and it's been incredibly tough on our family. I'm struggling to stay positive and support her while dealing with my own fears and emotions. Do you have any advice on how to cope with this situation and be there for my mom during this difficult time? Signed, Worried in Willow Creek. Now, I'm going to say this makes us sad.
Yeah.
And I'll talk about this from a personal standpoint, and Jacob can too. Both of our fathers passed away with cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we don't want to ever tell you how to feel.
No.
The worst feeling in the world is to feel like somebody's telling you how to feel.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a friend who wrote a book. You can get it on Amazon. Her name is Kim West, and she wrote a book called Say This, Not That. And it's all about helping people who've lost a loved one and what not to say.
Yeah.
You know, things like, don't say, oh, it'll take time for you. You're not ever going to forget that person.
No.
Okay. So the advice that I want to give you is personal.
Yeah.
Okay. When my father was going through his journey with cancer and leading up to his death, I made the mistake of acting as the caregiver, not the son.
Yeah.
Okay. As a caregiver, I'm taught how to go through difficult situations without putting everything into it, breakdown afterwards.
Yeah.
So I didn't effectively go through that grieving process. And it wasn't until years later I identified that and with a counselor, mental health counselor. And I would say if you have the availability, start in a grief process now, okay? Especially if the diagnosis is terminal.
Yeah.
Okay. You didn't say that in here, but your fears and emotions are based on grief at this point. And so grief counseling can really help you. Even if there's a complete recovery, currently you're going through the fear and the emotions because of grief.
Yeah.
And I think counseling is a good way to deal with that if you can. If not, talk openly about your fears and your emotions with your mom and with your family because you can't keep them in.
No.
The last bit of advice that I have is whether you have weeks, months, or years with your loved one that has been diagnosed with cancer, I believe that it's imperative in life that we create moments and memories. And the reason I say it that way is that it's often just moments that make the biggest impact on us. So spend all the time you can with your loved ones, okay? And make sure that you create those memories that can last you for the rest of your life.
Yeah. I think the worst part about cancer is that it doesn't just affect the person that's been diagnosed with it. It affects everybody that cares and loves about that person. Absolutely. And my only piece of advice I can give to you is you need to understand what you can and what you can't control. And it's a tough pill to swallow because there's a helplessness that comes with a cancer diagnosis of somebody you care about. You can't change that they have cancer, but what you can change is the small moments that you still have with this person. I know that if this is a terminal case, one thing that I was really thankful for with my father's terminal case of cancer was after he had passed away, he had recorded himself singing songs like "You Are My Sunshine."
Oh,
so if I know we all have our phones on us 24/7, get a recording or something of your mom.
Yeah,
and I will say this much too: if it's not terminal, while you do need to keep it in the back of your mind that we could all pass away unexpectedly, we could get in a car wreck, right? Don't talk to your mom as if this is already at that sentence.
Yeah.
She needs that hope.
Yeah, positivity. We find in medicine, positivity is the healer, actually.
Yeah. And my last piece of advice, obviously, the listeners know I take mental health very seriously. I go to a therapist, and I'm not ashamed to admit that. And one thing that I had made a mistake of doing when I was dealing with my dad's cancer battle was I really burnt out the people closest to me talking about it. It is important to talk to people close to you about how you're processing everything, but also having a paid professional that's a little bit removed from the situation, I think that it can't be overstated how important that actually is. So,
absolutely. It doesn't need to be the conversation at the dinner table every night.
No.
But you do need to talk about your feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's really good advice.
Yeah. What are we thinking about you, Willow? Well, Ed, as we wrap up today's episode, I just want to make sure the listeners understand we want to extend a heartfelt thank you to everyone, and I mean everyone, who came out to CreepyCon to support us, and we hope that you enjoyed it half as much as we did. It was a friggin' blast. So I just want to remind everybody real quick, too, don't forget to submit your questions, jokes, and stories to the brew. We actually had quite a bit of engagement. People were writing quite a bit. I can't wait to sift through those. Joining in the fun is very easy, even though we had listeners write physical things and drop it into our cool cauldron that you made us, Ed. You can actually just head on over to ravensvail.com, click on the social media tab in the menu bar, and select a brew. So we invite you to stir up some excitement by sharing your questions, jokes, and spooky stories to be featured right here on our show. And we love hearing from you and want to incorporate your submissions into the upcoming episodes that we have planned. So whether you have a burning question about life or the paranormal, maybe a really spooky, unsettling story to share, or a clever joke, we always love those to lighten the mood, this is your chance to add your special touch to the cauldron.
Now, family, you adults have a few chores to do. Go on over to ravensvail.com and see about doing your chores on social media. Follow us on all the social media platforms that we made available just for you folks. Like, listen, subscribe, and follow wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you don't mind, please leave us a good rating and a kind comment. You can find the Ravens Vail Cauldron Podcast on your favorite podcast platform. Just search for the Ravens Vail Cauldron Podcast and make sure you hit the follow button to stay up to date with our latest episodes.
Oh, and family, don't forget to tell your friends about us, won't you?
So until next time, family, see you soon.
The Ravens Vail Cauldron is a production of Small Raven Media. Today's episode was hosted by Ed Bolden-Greer with co-host Jacob A. Garner. Audio engineering and sound design by Nick Devan at Nicky D Sound. Copyrighted 2024, Small Raven Media. All rights reserved.